writing and then get to the next phase. But it's really challenging, I think, for a lot of people to say, hey, I have this talent and I'm going to put it on display because, again, people who have no idea what you're doing like to give you a whole lot of advice. So I can get where you're coming from, where like, I had no idea that my great nephew,
yeah, I did,
was an illustrator.
I did not know it, and he came over and he did some drawings for me. And
sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. I'm surprised I don't have one of these kids riding around with the boom box going. So,
I'm so sorry about that.
No, you can't help that. That's just living in a world. But he's really good, and the good part about him, I told him I'm going to put your name in the book, so you're going to get credit for it too. So,
right.
And it works out. He's so excited, and his name is Jalen Battle, and he's 13 years old. So I'm really proud.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's 13 and very talented, and trying to help him too because he wants to do cartoons. So I'm trying to help him find some outlet for that. So I told him to keep it up. I said, who knows? You get published, you could be a famous cartoonist. Who knows?
Exactly.
Don't shut down your dreams. The other thing, as we as writers, and I tried to share with a young lady the other day, but of course she didn't want to listen. When you're when you're writing, you have to communicate with other writers.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that because we draw strength from each other. We also draw information from one another. And, somebody may have some information that you need to enhance your writing.
Oh, yeah. And that's what I love about the group that I have fallen into. I have to say, thankfully, I haven't come across too many oddballs in my online experience.
Yeah, me too.
And I've met a lot of great writers, a lot of great poets. When I first got on and started blogging, I started out with a group called Secluded Paradise. And they were just that. It was a private group, no more than 30 people in the group, and they would post these challenges, and I feed off of a writing challenge. Go nuts. Have fun with them.
Right.
So they would post them every week. So it was always something to help develop your skill.
Right.
To get you to the next level. On the other hand, I'm with another group now called Steamy Trails, which my girlfriend, who's the publisher, she has that group. And it's meant for just that, to get writers in one place to encourage each other. And if we're working on something and we need some feedback, we throw it up. And, people will come in and comment on it. And there's people in the group who are published, people who want to be published. So it's a nice little community where we can all kind of, help each other get to the next level.
And that's what we need as writers, And like I said, I was trying to share it with this young lady, but she didn't want to listen. But that's okay too. We have, right. To me, if you're going to be a writer, if you're going to put a book out there, it's your job as a writer to put out the best quality of a book that you possibly can do.
Right.
Because, number one, it's a waste of time for people to pay money for your book when it's a piece of garbage.
Exactly.
And, why would you want to even do one like that? That's just me. I guess I'm just different. But I think writers should be more committed to the reader, and really think about how a reader would feel if they wrote a book that wasn't up to snuff. So,
well, the thing, it goes back to what I said beforehand. It's real easy to think, oh, I'll go ahead and I'll write a book and people will buy it. The truth is, anybody can write a book.
Thank you.
The fact is that there are people, if someone is going to pick up a book or your book to read, it's not the first time that they've read a book.
Thank you.
They are into reading. So if you put something out there that's not quite right, they're going to call you on it. And I've been on the receiving end skip the book.
Thank you.
On just a Twitter post
Mm-hmm.
where I've been called on my spelling, my grammar by people who are avid readers.
Thank you.
So you really have to be pretty anal when you're putting your work together, and you can't be afraid to share it with other people. And the best people to share it with are other writers.
It is, because you need to hone your skills.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to read too to keep your skills up. And you just got to constantly, it's like anything that's worth achieving, you have to invest in.
Right.
And that's where I'm at. And that's what I when I read, and I read like a writer, because I'm looking at your plot, your character development, all of this stuff that most people probably don't look at, but I do.
Right.
And, and I want to see how you did it, and if you research your character. So I'm tearing your book apart. That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
But I also read as a reader. It's certain things readers like to see. So, I think if we're gonna write, and like you say, anybody can put a book out, but if you want to be a good writer, I think you should invest in taking the time and giving the reader something that's worth reading.
Oh yeah. I mean, I hate to say it, when everyone was gushing about 50 Shades, I was one of the people who read it, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. It's too unrealistic.
Mm-hmm.
And I went looking for something better than that. Like I said, I when I'm in writer mode, I will research the mess out of foolishness.
I will too. I thought it was just me, so no.
Yeah, I read Sylvia Day's series, Fair to You,
mm-hmm.
which is a similar theme to 50 Shades. And I was like, how come no one's talking about this book? She added enough twist to it. And like you said, I wasn't just reading it to be entertained. I was reading it with a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I want to compare it to the other book and see if there's somebody out there who can write erotic better than this person who's selling a gaggle of copies of this other book. So it's like, as a reader, I appreciated what Sylvia Day delivered, because even in reading, you could tell what she used to kind of pull her story together
mm-hmm.
was information about the psychological background of each character. And it's like, oh, thank you. You researched this.
Thank you.
So you're not just feeding me BS. Thank you.
Yeah.
As a reader, I appreciated it and recognized it.
I had another writer ask me to, and I wanted to bring them. There's two so far I will not bring on the show. And one wrote me a book, and I'm not going into discussions because they'll know who it is. But when I get to the first page, and you got sex on the first page, and you got the whole plot of the story on the first page, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
So, because my job as a reader is to go into the book and research and read and get to the plot of the book. If you're going to tell me what the plot of the book is on the first page, I don't need to read anything else.
Exactly.
So that right there told me that person was not ready to be a writer. So.
Well, I think one of the things that I've found, and I honestly try to avoid erotic,
mm-hmm.
because there's so much of it. It's a broad definition of what erotic is.
It is.
And like you just said, people have a tendency to throw the sex scene up front because they think that's what people want. And they don't take the time to develop that story. And if there's any story that you want to really develop, that should be, in my opinion, the one that you take your time with.
Now,
because if you're going to be throwing people into these physical situations, you have to understand a little more about how their mind works.
Thank you. And take the time and research it.
Yeah.
Well, Nikki, we've had a wonderful discussion, and unfortunately, it's almost that time on the clock. I enjoyed it. You're going to have to come back. I want you to come back before you do your reading. You said it's June what?
June 11th.
Okay, so we'll try to get you back a week before.
Okay, that would be great.
Okay, and I want to thank all you listeners today for listening to Persistence of Vision Poetry Night. My name is Stephanie White. We're in Meet My Characters. We'll be back next week. You can probably be with me because right now I have not finished the book I need to do the next editor, the next author. So I want to thank Nikkei for being with us tonight and reading us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I enjoyed it. You see, I'm just sitting here just enjoying your thought processes and your poetry. So I'm really enjoying it tonight. And it was good. We got to talk because with Don, all we do is laugh. So I love you to death, Don, but we do. We laugh all the time, and you know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is good. And like I said, I want everybody to have a happy Mother's Day, and we'll see you back next week. And thanks for visiting us, and listen again to Meet My Characters. Good night.